from the bottom and they all turned they back, that ain't a problem.
Yeah, real talk.
I wore Asics, they all thought I was jogging. Right out the picture, they had cropped me. I got myself if they don't got me. Placing my bet on 7-9.
Yeah.
Taking the steps every time. They gave me less every time. I ain't complain, I got what's
Let's
mine.
get it. Real talk.
I got through the fire, Shaka Khan. I'm watching The Wire, eating fries.
What's up? I'm LaDon Protege and I'm an artist. When people see LaDon Protege, I want them to see originality. Whether it's a piece of clothing, a mural, or a work of art, I wanted to stimulate the individual's mind. The client and myself work together, sharing thoughts and ideas until the vision is perfected. So I always allow my clients to be a part of the artistic process, which not only creates individuality for myself in the artwork, but I want them to feel like they're part of the artistic process. So I've been doing art for about 6 years now. Before I got into art, I was always playing basketball. I was actually an all-around sports player. I used to run track and everything. I used to play for middle school, high school, and I played for a few AAU teams. One day when I was playing, like during my basketball season, I had one of my friends. He asked me to customize a pair of shoes for him, and I customized a pair of shoes for him before the game. And everybody just was, flocking to the sneaks. They was like, oh, snap, like, where you get them from? And I just seen the change in his demeanor while he was playing. Like, he was like, oh, I got that shit on. Like, so, he was really feeling himself. And after that, like, everybody just tried to tap in and they wanted, some custom anything. They was like, oh, let me get Jan to do this and do that. So that's what I did. So once I began college, I always desired to be a part of the basketball team. So, I was working out and stuff like that, getting ready to try out and stuff like that. I had tried out, and unfortunately, I didn't make the team. But I never took it personal. I just took it as a, I talked to my mom and everything, talked to my family, and they was like, you probably got a higher calling, you know what I'm saying? It's more stuff out there for you. So I knew I was always good at art. And one thing I always made sure of, I wanted to leave the campus I wanted to make myself known. I knew I wanted to leave the campus leaving my mark, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was going to make sure it happened. I was already into the art. Everybody was giving me their sneaks. I got a couple of Timbs. Everybody was giving me their shoes. I started customizing their shoes and stuff like that, and that was my hustle throughout college. I used to hustle in my dorm room, just creating, just being myself. They didn't care what I did. They was just like, yo, make sure I'm stepping. So I just I made sure of that. So now that I had a lot of time on my hands, I was creating clothes, I was customizing sneakers. I was just doing anything that came to mind. When it came to a paintbrush and some paint, I could make it happen. So then it fast forward to a point where, my bro, now my bro, but I didn't know him at first. He had made a post on Instagram regarding somebody helping him with a project. So the project was, I didn't know what the project was, but I had swiped up. I'm like, oh, I can help and stuff like that. His name is Chino, and he was like, all right, so we're going to be customizing the stage. We was spray painting the stage. It was nice. Like, I never spray painted a day in my life, but I was just going with the flow. I was just trying to figure it out. I didn't know what I was doing, but he never made me feel like I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, do this look right? And he was just like, just keep going. But the fact that he believed in me more than I believed in myself, it really just pushed me and stuff like that. So I just knew if somebody else is believing in me, then they must know I can get to work. So then I met Shadi. His brand is Catligo. Me and Chino designed for his brand and stuff like that. Shadi got me my first sewing machine. So I never used a sewing machine a day in my life before this point. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just figure out how to use it. Then look up no YouTube videos, I just went with the flow. And I was just like, all right, cool, this is how you use it. I figured out what I needed for it and all that. And he had me sewing patches on jeans and everything. And I was just like, all right, So the jeans were selling, Chino's stuff was selling, all our stuff was selling. We was just coming up with all these ideas. And, they knew okay, Yanni and Chino was our designers. So everybody tapped in. So a lot of the attention I received came from my college campus. I used to create clothes for homecoming, spring fling, just in different organizations. And everybody just was hyped. Every time somebody went outside, they got a lot of compliments, and everything spread from a word of mouth type thing. They was like, oh, where you get that jacket from, and this and that. What they would do is they would give me, especially the D9 orders, they would give me their information, and I would just say, all right, I'm gonna go with the flow. A lot of the times they love when I freestyle, because that's when I get more creative with everything. So I started customizing their clothes, and it started spreading. I had people from different states inquiring with me. That's when I tapped in. Later on, because I had the sewing machine, I tapped into doing the tapestry items. So what I do is I purchase a tapestry blanket. I design the tapestry blanket, and what I do is I create them a tapestry jacket. I can do tapestry shorts, all that. So along with the tapestry items, after that, I actually did my first crazy mural with in somebody's home. They wanted a Cartoon Network theme mural. I never did nothing that crazy. I always did simple stuff. But I was like, okay, if I do this mural, I feel like everybody will tap in because they're like, oh, she can make all these cartoon characters. What else can she do? So she gave me the job, and I was like, all right, I can make it happen. But I did, and I made it happen. It looked amazing. She loved it. Everybody that walked into her house, they loved it too. And I was like, after that, I promoted it, and everybody wanted a mural after that. So that was my first mural that I had started out with. So after that point, everybody gave me different challenges and different things to do, and I never declined it because I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm Superwoman. I can make it happen. Some advice that I would give to another artist is it's okay to slow down. Sometimes you get used to the money, the attention, just all the customers coming in and stuff like that, and it becomes overwhelming. For me, it became overwhelming after a while, especially when I received my teaching job. It was just like, all right, I really gotta slow down and figure out what it is that I need in this moment to help me balance things out. I feel like we have a hard time balancing things out. But if it's something that you're very passionate about, you don't want it to feel like a job. And that's why, the song that Chorus said, he said, slow it down when it feels like a job. And that's why, that's why I love that song, because it's just like, your passion should not feel like you need to be doing it. It should be fun. You should be, making fun out of all the things that you're doing. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm really just trying to slow down, take my time, and figure out what it is that I need to make things smooth for me and make sure I'm not as overwhelmed as I was for a little while. Just trying to level out everything. So honestly, been always thinking about having a storefront, and not only do I want it to be a storefront, but I want it to be a workshop as well. So in the beginning, I stated how I want my clients to be a part of the artistic process. I want them to physically be a part of the artistic process. That means I want them hands-on. They can come in, they can look at all the different creations that I've made, and just allow them to be, a part of the process, just not only telling me what they want, but actually on the drawing board with me, It's So Down Prodigy, and thank you for tuning in with me for episode 1.